Japanese cars are very popular and loved all over the world. Commonly and wrongly referred to as JDM cars, many of them have been the dream of lots of people all over the world, and still are commonly discussed about and lusted after. The Fast and the Furious franchise, Need for Speed games, and the internet are usually who to blame for the fame of plenty of Japanese cars, including the R34 Skyline GTR, the Mark IV Turbo Supra, and lots of others. Trouble is though, these cars are getting alarmingly expensive, and they're well past the days when buying one wasn't such a crazy idea. Here's a list of 10 JDM heroes that will not break the bank, or whose values have already dropped to their lowest point and are about to shoot up. Honda S2000. The Big Miata 2000, also known as Honda S2000, is Honda's 50th anniversary gift to its own self. Released in 1999, this two-seater sports car features timeless looks, lots of quirks, and an open top. It makes a lot of noise, it loves to wiggle its tail all over the place, and it is pure driving joy. It never was as cheap as a Miata, and it obviously still isn't, with far fewer of them having been made, and it also isn't as newbie friendly, so many of them have already been wrapped around trees and poles. If you manage to find a clean example for a relatively low amount of money, you're not only looking at one of the world's best roadsters, but you're also looking at a potential investment. Prices of these have bottomed out quite some time ago, so act fast. Type R EP3. This is the Honda Bye Bye GDI, Honda's answer to the Mark V Golf GDI. It was fast, it was agile, it was brutal, it was fun. NA, naturally aspirated, not many bells and whistles, great cornering, and an 8,000 RPM redline. This was a Type R done right. The interior is a bit Spartan, while the exterior looks are not loved by everybody, but these do not matter when it comes to a hot hatch. Many people prefer it to the newer FN Type R. It's new enough for you to be able to find a clean, unabused example, but it's also old enough to be able to be found for cheap. RX8. Milk has a best before date. This car has a best before 60,000 miles sticker on it from the factory, or so do many ignorant people still think to this date. You see, the RX8 was a sports car that was fun, fairly fast, looked great, had a nice interior, and was even pretty practical. On top of that, it was genuinely cheap for what it offered compared to the competition. The main issue was the 1.3 rotary engine, or rather, the owners of the cars did not treat them as they should have. Rotaries require special maintenance, they loved to be thrashed, or rather actually had to, and neglect caused them to go kaboom way before they should have. This has led to fear regarding the rotary engine, and in turn, low RX-8 prices. Lots of clean RX-8s with dead engines can be found going around for real cheap and can be good projects as a third car if you're really careful upon purchase, while overall good examples are also great value due to all the rotary propaganda causing people to stay away from them. Shop wisely and you will love it. Evo 10. All Evos are incredible cars, no doubt about it. Rally pedigree, interesting looks to say the least, and amazing all-round performance. Sadly, Mitsubishi pulled the plug in 2016, and 24 years worth of crazy sedans have come to an end. The Evo 10 is the last generation, starting in 2007 with the newest examples being only 2 years old. They're not what I in particular would consider affordable by no means, but they offer the best value out of the entire Evo family. Older Evo generations are increasing in value, while the 10th one is currently still dropping. Skyline GTR R33. The R33 is the unloved child of the Skyline family. It sits right in between the R32, which has a lot of racing pedigree, and the R34, which is undoubtedly one of the most famous cars in the universe. The R32 used to be fairly affordable until it turned 25 and was eligible for import into the US. Good news is that the R33 is not yet, so prices have not skyrocketed as of now. If you want 95% of the thrills an R34 GR can give you, and a price that definitely will increase, the R33 is the one you should go after. Skyline GTD R34. The R35 generation Nissan GTR is quite simply a GTR. It's not a Skyline GTR. It isn't the top range model of a family of cars, it simply is a standalone Nissan model. Up until the R34 generation though, that was not the case. The GTD is the GTR's younger brother. It still features the same chassis, albeit without the crazily desirable GTR body parts. It's got similar looks, it's turbo straight 6, and is properly sporty. Putting a GTR body kit on a GTD is very common practice, making these two cars almost indistinguishable from each other. This obviously leads to ever increasing prices, but since it's not an actual GTR, you still do have a chance to grab one for reasonable cash. Beware, lots of GTDs sold are autos, so unless you're into that kind of stuff, stay away. Impreza STI 2nd Gen facelift. I bet that no matter who you ask, this is the Impreza that pops to people's minds whenever you say Impreza WRX STI. I'm referring to the 2004 Blob by Impreza, obviously painted blue with golden wheels. This car is iconic. I'm sure you can imagine it skidding around on gravel while burbling away. Since production of the STI has not stopped yet, this means prices have not started increasing yet, so these still can be great value. Mazda 3 MPS. Whenever someone talks about hot hatches, I'm sure the MPS3 isn't what first comes to mind. Practicality, 263 horsepower, 6-speed manual, and a limited slip differential as standard are key features to a hot hatch though, and are what makes this small hatch so great. I think we can all agree on the fact that it looks nice, and that it definitely isn't appreciated enough, hiding in the shadow of cars like the Golf GTI of the time. That actually comes in at your benefit, as the oldest examples are only 11 years old, and you can still find plenty mint, unabused Mazdaspeed 3s. RX-7 FC. The RX-7 FD is an icon. It was created with intentions of competing with turbo 911s of the time, and it did that rather well. Now, add a high price in the mix, coupled with lots of pop culture influence, and we've got an incredible 90s coupe with prices on the rise. This is where the FC comes along. Replace curves with edges, reduce power and complexity, add a bit of weight and a couple of years on its back, and cut the price in half. Big part of the thrills for half the price. Find a clean turbo model, and trust me, you are looking at an investment. So, that was it for today's video guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Which one of these would you buy with your own money? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe and stay tuned as there's a giveaway coming up soon.